जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय नित्य गौरंग जय नित्य गौरंग। नित्य गौरंग जय नित्य गौरंग। जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 7, text number 1 and 2. Please repeat after me. Shri Rajo Vacha. Shri Rajo Vacha. Yena yena avatarena. Yena yena avatarena. Bhagavan Harir Ishvaraha. Bhagavan Harir Ishvaraha. Karoti Karna Ramyani. Karoti Karna Ramyani. Manognani Chana Prabho. Manognani Chana Prabho. Yashrunmatopeti Aratir Vitrishna. Yashrunmatopeti Aratir Vitrishna. Sattvam cha shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Sattvam cha shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakhyam. Bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakyam. Tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. Tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. Sri Rajo Vacha Yena Yena Avatarena Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Karoti Karna Ramyani Manognani Chana Prabho Yachrunmatopeti Aratir Vitrishna Sattvam cha shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakyam. Tadyeva haram vadamanyase chet. Sri Rajo Vacha Yena Yena Avatarena Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Karoti Karna Ramyani Manognani Chana Prabho Yachrunmatopeti Aratir Vitrishna Sattvam ta shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakyam. Tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. Mataji. Sri Rajo Vacha Yena Yena Avatarena Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Karoti Karna Ramyani Manognani Chana Prabho Yachrunmatopeti Aratir Vitrishna Sattvam cha shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakyam. Tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. Sri Rajo Vacha Yena Yena Avatarena Bhagavan Haririshvaraha Karoti Karna Ramyani Manognani Chana Prabho Yachrunmatopeti Aratir Vitrishna Sattvam ta shuddhyati achirena pumsaha. Bhaktir harau tat purushe cha sakyam. Tadeva haram vadamanyase chet. Word to word translation. Please repeat after me. Sri Raja Uvacha. The king enquired from Shukadeva Goswami. Yena Yenavatarena. The pastimes exhibited by different varieties of incarnations. Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Harihi, the Lord. Ishvaraha, the Controller. Karoti, presence. Karana Ramyani, were all very pleasing to the ear. Managnani, very attractive to the mind. Cha, also. Naha, of us. Prabho, my Lord Shukadeva Goswami. Yat Shrunmataha, of anyone who simply hears these narrations. Apaiti, vanishes. Aratihi, unattractiveness. Vitrishna, dirty things within the mind that make us uninterested in Krishna consciousness. Sattvam cha, the existential potential in the core of the heart. Position. The existential position in the core of the heart. Shuddhyati, becomes purified. Achirena, very soon. Pumsaha, of any person. Bhaktihi harau, devotional attachment and service to the Lord. Tat Purushe, with Vaishnavas. Cha, also. Sakyam, attraction to association. Tadeva, that only. Haram, the activities of the Lord which should be heard and kept on the neck as a garland. Vada, kindly speak. Manyase, you think it fit. Chet, if. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. King Parikshit said, My Lord Shukadeva Goswami, all the various activities exhibited by the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are certainly pleasing to the ear and to the mind. Simply by one's hearing all of these activities, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. Generally, we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord. But Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to the mind and ear. Thus, one's attachment for hearing about material things, which is the root cause of material existence, vanishes. And one gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord, attachment for Him, and friendship with devotees who give us the contribution of Krishna consciousness. If you think it fit, kindly speak about these activities of the Lord. Purport. As stated in the Prema Vivarta, Krishna Bahirmukha Haya Bhogavancha Kare Nikatastamaya Tare Japatiya Dare. Our material existence is Maya or illusion, in which we desire different varieties of material enjoyment and therefore change to different varieties of bodies. Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. Bhagavad Gita 18.61. Asan api kleshada asha dehaha. Srimad Bhagavatam 554. As long as we have these temporary bodies, they give us many varieties of tribulation. Adhyatmik, Adibhautik and Adidaivik. This is the root cause of all suffering. But this root cause of suffering can be removed by revival of our Krishna consciousness. All the Vedic literatures presented by Vyasadeva and other great sages are therefore intended to revive our Krishna consciousness, which begins to revive with Shravana Kirtanam. Shrunvatam Swakata Krishna, Bhagavatam 1-17. Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures exist simply to give us a chance to hear about Krishna. Krishna has different avatars or incarnations, all of which are wonderful and which arouse one's inquisitiveness. But generally, such avatars as Matsya, Kurma and Varaha are not as attractive as Krishna. First of all, however, we have no attraction for hearing about Krishna, and this is the root cause of our suffering. But Parikshit Maharaj specifically mentions that the wonderful activities of baby Krishna, which amazed Mother Yashoda and other inhabitants of Vraja, are especially attractive. From the very beginning of his childhood, Krishna killed Putana, Trunavarta and Shakatasura and showed the entire universe within his mouth. Thus the pastimes of Krishna, one after another, kept Mother Yashoda and all the inhabitants of Vraja in great astonishment. The process to revive one's Krishna consciousness is Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangaha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.4.15. The pastimes of Krishna can be properly received from devotees. If one has developed a little bit of Krishna consciousness by hearing from Vaishnavas about the activities of Krishna, one becomes attached to Vaishnavas who are interested only in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj recommends that one hear about Krishna's childhood activities, which are more attractive than the activities of other incarnations, such as Matsya, Kurma and Varaha. Wanting to hear more and more from Shukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit requested him to continue describing Krishna's childhood activities, which are especially easy to hear and which create more and more inquisitiveness. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. Om Agnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Enam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauravaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we see here, Parikshit Maharaj is very eager to hear about Lord Krishna's childhood activities from Shukadeva Goswami. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri, and before he really started his extensive teaching of Krishna consciousness and Kirtana and all that, he went on a South India tour. Right? In the very first leg of the tour, as he left from Jagannath Puri, and he started heading into Andhra Pradesh. Right? There, one of the first places he visits. Anybody remembers which place he goes? Kurma Kshetra, yes. So Kurma Kshetra is there even today. It was extensively developed by Sri Ramanujacharya. When Ramanujacharya visited Jagannath Puri, after that, with that inspiration, he came and to Kurma Kshetra and very extensively developed that place. And later the temple was under the Vijayanagara Empire, and it was one of the very important temples. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes over there, and that is when he first starts manifesting his preaching. He would go from village to village, and he would exhibit so much of ecstasy and chant the names of Krishna, sing and dance, and describe various Krishna's pastimes. So it is said that when people saw him, they were just so amazed, so attracted by his wonderful features and the wonderful pastimes he was, he was sharing of Lord Krishna's, different pastimes, including his childhood pastimes. And they would all become great devotees. They would start chanting, singing, and he would transform whole villages at a time. So when he was in Kurma Kshetra, he met one Kurma Brahmana. There was a Brahmana in that Kurma Kshetra, and his name was also Kurma. And so this Kurma Brahmana invited the Lord to his house. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to his house. He washed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet and sprinkled the water on all the family members' heads. And then, he requested the Lord to share some of the Lord Krishna's pastimes. Hearing those pastimes, he was full of ecstasy. And then, he asks Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, see, I cannot take this material misery anymore. Please let me come with you and travel, place to place. I want to be with your party and, just spread Krishna consciousness along with you. This comes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, 7th chapter. I'll just read a few verses. 7.127. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Shri Mukha Deki Thanra Kaila Alingana Thanre Kripa Kari Kahe Madhura Vachana. Seeing the Brahmana's eagerness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him and spoke sweet words of instruction. The next verse is a very, very famous verse. 7.128. Yare deka tare kaha Krishna upadesh Amara agnaya guru hana tara yedesh. Instruct everyone you meet about Krishna. By my order, become a spiritual master and deliver the people of this land. Kabuna badibe tomara vishaya taranga punarapi ethan na paibe anga. If you follow this instruction, the waves of material life will never disturb you, and you will never have to return to this material world again. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired him and specifically instructed him that you please continue doing this, and I'll come back and I'll meet you, and our connection and association will not ever stop. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started leaving from that village And this Kurma Brahmana accompanied him all the way to the edge of the village. And very lovingly and very fondly, let the Lord started going, and he was remembering him. And then he went back and started practicing this, chanting the holiness of the Lord, giving Krishna Katha. And he was immersed in ecstasy. So we see here in this verse, Prabhupada is illustrating a very, taking this verse and calling out a few very important points in the purport. Right? The first thing he says that asan api kleshada asha dehaha is quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto. As long as we have these temporary bodies, they give us many varieties of tribulation. Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, and Adi Devika. This is the root cause of all suffering. But this root cause of suffering can be removed by revival of our Krishna consciousness. One very, very fundamental things we need to understand in Krishna consciousness. If we have this temporary body, it will give you trouble. Right? Sometimes when we go through a little bit more troubling times, I guess, we ask this question: why me? Why am I going through this? Oh, this is so much of problem. The Bhagavatam explains in many places, padam padam yat vipadam na tesha. This material body means problems. Right? Think about how the body is created. There is a janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi. Right? Dukkha doshanu darshanam. It's clearly said, this is dukkha doshanu darshanam. A child is born, right? There are different challenges in a childhood body, right? So communication is a problem, right? The only thing the child can do is, cry. And like Stoka Maharaj is explaining, only a mother can understand, what the child really wants, right? And that's the only means of, these things. So many challenges in childhood, and then, they start growing up, and then they going to school is a problem, studying is a problem. They only want to play, but, parents are behind them. No, you have to study. Homework is a problem. Right? Every day, 8 o'clock in the morning, they have to go to school is a problem. Not that there's some, if you're even 5 minutes late, you're marked tardy, whatever. Is it 10 minutes or 5 minutes? What is the 1 minute tardy? Yeah? Zero tolerance. Huh? Our officers are better. And the life just continues like that, and before you know, right, you are a youth, and youth, actually, I always keep saying this, all these teenagers, 15, 16 years, that age, this thing. So many problems. They are all this comparison with the peers and this and that, and like they say, oh, my life is this problem, that problem. You are at the best of your, the Shastra says 16 years is your peak performance. When you are peak of your this thing, you are having problems. Just wait what the rest of the life has to offer for you. Just think about that for a second. In that way, I guess, in the Sanatana Dharma, in the Indian cultures, I somehow don't remember that at that age we had so many problems. Right? I don't even remember any major problems at all. We are all happy, whatever, being with friends, reading this thing, that thing, doing our own things. I really have never heard of anybody saying I'm depressed. I'm going through this. I do not remember even one person using the word. And maybe they were depressed, maybe they don't know. I just don't know what this thing is. But you talk to the teenagers now, half of them are depressed all the time, and then they're like, this problem, that problem. It's like, so adhyatmic. Because you see, I was thinking a lot about this. This body has to give problems. Maybe we had problems of, I don't have this, I don't have that, money problem, this, I don't know, maybe we didn't have enough toys or this or that. So here, weather was, all of that is set properly. So somewhere problem has to come. Right? And so you created your own problem. Adhyatmika problem is the bigger problem. Right? And Adi Bhautika, even they are not giving you problem, you are just looking at them and looking at their Instagram and you are creating problem for yourself. And Adi Daivika. Right? But this is the nature of this world. We should expect, Prabhupada is making it very clear. He's not telling, you're not going to have problems. He's saying, this body will, as long as we have temporary body, there will be many varieties of tribulations. A lot of nice varieties will come. Later, when you grow up, once you hit your 30s, that's when you start coming to your senses at least a little bit, I think. Oh, this is not, the realities will start sinking in. Right? Body will start, giving some signals. Saying, oh, this. Once you reach your 40s, it's all over. Right? Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. We are all so proud of our bodies, so this thing, so, enamored by this thing, all, whatever was source of this thing, all of those will start giving you problems of different kinds. And then before you know, you're in your 50s and 60s and 70s. Right? It's only theory for most of us here. A few of people are practical experience. If 50s, I've gone through 40s and just beginning 50s. This itself is like this. I can't imagine what the 60s and 70s have to offer. So it is designed for that. So only way out is we have to immerse ourselves in Krishna Katha. What is saying? There is only one solution. This root cause of suffering, which is the temporary body, can be removed by revival of our Krishna consciousness. See, we are designed to be enamored by stories and all of these things. You see what people do in this world, they are so, captured. Most people spend so many hours of their day watching TV and movies and all of these things. Hours and hours. What are they watching? They are watching stories. They are watching stories that Maya is spinning to them. Telling them, no, you don't have a problem. You have problems, but others don't have problems. See, the nature of this world is created in such a way that any person is just looking at one person little above them and saying, look at these people. These one or two, they don't have this problem. If I solve these one or two problems, how I wish I could be in their position. And the person who is in that position is thinking, what a miserable life I am having. How I can be in this position? This one. And there is no end to it. All the way you start from one ant, you go to, that's why I say that Indra to Indra Gopa, they say. This insect that is there in the stew, in that cow dung. From that to all the way to Indra, above Indra also. Indra is also thinking, how can I be this thing? Then the Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka. Even Brahma is thinking, how can I be a bigger Brahma? There is no end to this. We have to understand that. This is the illusion that Maya creates for us and creates all these attractions. We have very, very firm conviction. If you go and analyze our consciousness, we are very, very firmly convinced that, you see, I have this problem, but this thing if I had, I'll be happy. There are one or two things, we are very, very, we are so convinced. We believe that story. But here, Prabhupada is explaining that the actual antidote for all of this is Krishna Katha. Everybody wants to hear Katha, so we have to figure out how do we infuse our lives with Krishna Katha. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. Right, is Prabhupada is quoting the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. The only way this Krishna Katha can be exchanged is when we have Ado Shraddha, we have some faith, and then we have to do Sadhu Sangha. So, we have to, Prabhupada is telling, if one has developed a little bit of Krishna consciousness by hearing from Vaishnavas about the activities of Krishna, then one becomes attached to Vaishnavas who are interested only in Krishna consciousness. Because otherwise, if you don't become interested in Krishna consciousness, if you don't develop taste, if you don't develop interest in this, whatever you think is today giving you happiness will all be taken away from you. Just a matter of time only. Anyway, at the end of your life, when you're going to die, everything is going to go. Now, what all is going to go, when, for whom, is little different. The story is different for different people. Krishna has a story, Krishna has a means of, enlivening us. But it need not be that, it is going to go away, this is miserable, Krishna is so bad, he's a sadist, he's giving us. That is not the story. Krishna wants us to become attached to this. Sometimes, they'll say, you tell nicely, you don't listen, what will happen? Hey, do this! Little strictly. If you don't listen when you are little strictly told, what will happen? One little beating will also come. If you don't listen when they are little hitting you, what they will do? No. Big hitting and some brick will fall on your head. Life is trying to teach us. Krishna, and Prabhupada, they are guiding us in every mood in our heart. If you listen nicely at this thing, then you learned your lesson. We have to adapt as our life goes on. That's why there is this ashrama, varna and ashrama. Ashrama is a continuous, it's not like, there are some distinct jumps, but it is a continuous refinement. We have to get, as we get older, when the body starts giving you more and more problems, mind starts giving you more and more, then you should get more and more attached to Krishna. More and more detached from this world. If young people in their 20s and all that, teenager, this thing, they're all doing all that, okay, it's understandable. If in your 50s you are acting like a teenager, there is a major problem. Why? Because your mind-body system is not like you are disconnected by multiple generations. But that is what most people are. Go look at old people, retired people, what are they doing? Sitting whole day and watching TV, reading newspaper, this thing, some nonsense, this person did that. That's all. And that is just like an intoxication, You've seen, in the best way to understand this is in all societies you see drunkards lying somewhere. Why? They cannot face reality of the world, so they are just drunk and just lying around, and then it's a short miserable life. There's nothing good that comes out of it. That is the position of people who have not developed attraction for Krishna Katha. They're just trying to fool themselves into forgetting the realities of life. But the realities are not going to go away. For a drunkard, just because he drinks and this thing, his day-to-day problems are not going to go away, his job is not going to go away, his needs for money is not going to go away, his responsibilities are not going away. Each of us experience this, right? You sit and you keep watching, reels and, Instagram and this and YouTube or whatever. And just waste your time in, this frivolous, because it's so attractive at that moment. Like, what does it do to you? That day is wasted. You cannot do anything meaningful in life. And then your time is being taken away from you. Right? So, we have to, in the association of Vaishnavas, that is why we have to create very conducive atmosphere where Krishna Katha can be described and experienced and enjoyed in varieties of ways. It could be reading. It could be, some singing of songs. It could be, watching dramas, enacting in dramas. Some devotees go create, this, they may create some movies or record something, this thing like, we have created this Krishna animations and all this. Watch those, like surround yourself with Krishna Katha of different varieties and qualities. When we do that, then we are no longer bound to this material world. Imagine, how liberating this is, because at any point of your life, at any age, you might be sick and on your deathbed. You can't move your hands, you can't eat, you can't do, but who is stopping you from just remembering the Lord's pastimes in your mind? And then chanting, and then, listening to this thing, or even watching Krishna Katha. If you need the taste. The taste has to develop, and taste comes only from practice. Okay? So, that is why there is a stress over here that Maharaj Parishit requested to continue describing the childhood activities, which are especially easy to hear and which create more and more inquisitiveness. We'll stop here. I think time is up. If Puja is ready, then we can start up. Anybody has any quick question? Ready? Okay. Jai Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Bol Premanand.